see you there. So I'll be with you in just a minute. So I'm just going to double check I've finished my work. Looks alright to me. Bear with me, I'll show you what I've been doing in just a second. Alright. Here we are then, Bab. This is what I was going to show you. This is funeral ornaments number 20,000 that I've made today. I'm on piecework, you see, because I was late the other day. But you've got to be fair. The Newman brothers, they always give you work. They always make sure you're fed, you're clothed, and you do a hard day's graft. I don't know about you, but after a very long day of stamping 20,000 of these, one every 2 seconds, I could really do with a pint. Another great thing about my job, it's way safer than it was 60 years ago. Thanks to all this new factory legislation, it's better than it was in my granddad's day. See that there? That canal there goes all the way up to Wolverhampton. The only reason I know that is because my granddad was telling me when he first came to this city, it was in the time of cholera. So loads of people were coming down from Wolverhampton. They were coming down here with the cholera. So my granddad refused to work. Unfortunately, lost his job. So you've seen my job at Newman Brothers, but on the flip side of that, all the women in my family, they work in the steel pen trade, like Gillette's factory behind me, which is probably one of the biggest pen factories, as well as a number of hundreds that are just in this area alone. We've got it great in the Jewellery Quarter, haven't we? We've got a great wage, we've got work all year round, then on Saturdays we can grab some Cadbury's chocolate in Bourneville, then we can head down to the football. So after a long day's graft, Roseville Tavern is the best place to be. So why don't you lot hop down to the Jewellery Quarter as well and come and learn about industries like mine and other industries that enriched the history of this area and has made it such a prominent part of Birmingham. Get a taste for the past and the present and the here and now. Go on then boys, let's get them in.
The Royal Birmingham Society of Artists has had its gallery in the Jewellery Quarter for the past 20 years, but its connections to the area go back over 200 years to when the Society was first established. It was the arts and crafts associated with the jewellery trade that led to the creation of the Society. There was a need for trained designers and a showcase for their talents. I'm Ed Isaacs, I'm a member of the Royal Birmingham Society of Artists, and I'm also an enthusiastic urban sketcher. I regularly run drawing workshops and sketching trails that focus on the architecture and townscape of this fascinating area. Come along with me now and we'll go and have a look at some buildings. I'll do some sketching and you can see what this area means to an artist like me. This corner of the Jewellery Quarter around Frederick Street, Regent Street and Victoria Street is very interesting. The street names immediately tell you that it was an area developed over the first couple of decades of the 19th century. Here we'll find some of the earliest examples of workshops in the Jewellery Quarter dating from the Regency period, but the ones I'm drawing now are later, but they do show that kind of typical arrangement of workshop, showroom and residential, which is so characteristic and unique to the Jewellery Quarter. When I draw, I like to feel that I'm telling a story. I want to get over information about architectural detail, whether the buildings are plain or highly decorated, their age and scale, and the materials they are made from. I'll also want to show context as well. This could be the weather through showing light and shade, and I can also include street furniture, traffic and people. But if it was just about communicating, you might as well just take a photograph. But drawing, even a sketch, is much more than that. It has to be true and honest to itself, and then you have something that can really engage with the viewer. There is so much in this part of Birmingham to draw, and I find Key Hill Cemetery endlessly fascinating and atmospheric. The catacombs and monuments, and its location in a hollow behind Vi Street and next to the railway, are unique.
We are now in the Jewellery Quarter's heritage area, home to a number of significant historical buildings. Money from the National Lottery Heritage Fund has been secured, and this has been used to restore and repair a number of buildings, as well as to tell the story and raise awareness of this unique historical area. Deakin and Francis, now the UK's oldest family-run jewellery business, has been based on this site since 1786, when they converted part of the original building into offices and factory space. However, the earliest record of the site, when it was known as Harper's Hill House, goes back to 1772, and from 1777 to 1790 it was occupied by James Watt, famous for his work on developing the steam engine. Full steam ahead to our next location. Since late Victorian times, the Jewellery Quarter has been the hub of education related to the jewellery trade. This Grade 2 listed School of Jewellery building has been at the centre of learning in the Jewellery Quarter since 1890. When the school was founded, its mission was to provide education and training to ensure that the quality of design and manufacture was of the highest, so that the local industry could meet the competition worldwide. Now part of Birmingham City University, the school's mission remains unchanged. In 1995, an extensive building and refurbishment programme was completed, creating the largest teaching institution for this specialisation in Europe. And provision has expanded further by the addition of another site on St Paul's Square. These buildings are now part of the Jewellery Quarter's thriving and growing hospitality sector. But in the 19th century, they were part of the area's manufacturing hub. The original building on the site of the current button factory was built in 1824 and occupied by William Elliot, a button maker, hence the name of the current bar. In keeping with Birmingham's label as the city of 1,000 trades, the building was used as a base for other manufacturing industries as the century progressed. It was used by an electroplater and gilder until demolished in 1888 and rebuilt as a warehouse for a metal manufacturing company. This Grade 2 listed building is now a hotel. Built in the 1820s, it was for many years a residential dwelling, reflecting the wealth and prosperity of the area. The industrial boom of the time attracted international interest and a number of migrants to the area. In 1860, it was acquired by Russian-born Simeon Greenberg, a goldsmith who lived and worked there with his family. By the early 20th century, it had become a subsidiary firm of the Swiss watch company, Hefik Watch.
My name is Kitia. I've been part of Jewellery Quarter for many years now, since my school of jewellery time. I've seen how this place had changed from more manufacturing into more retailing. But however, this place is still full of high-skilled creative workmen. I'm starting volunteer at the Hive because I like the friendly and welcoming atmosphere. I like the chance to have a hand-on, traditional and new skill. The Hive, based in Grade 2 listed building that used to be called the New Standard Work, is a purpose-built jewelry factory. The people and the work here inspire our workshop. I love helping in the workshop because I have a chance to share my skill, meet new people, and the Maker Studio is peaceful and it feels welcome. also offer spaceful gallery for exhibition. They have wonderful coffee shop, the High Cafe, using organic vegetable from the garden from the top of our building. The High is also special because it's part of Agent College. They're using certain class and certain space as part of the study for the student. I really miss being here during COVID, and I'm glad that everything back on. I can't wait to start the workshop again and seeing all the exhibition that coming soon.
Welcome to Key Hill Cemetery and Warstone Lane Cemetery. These cemeteries were opened on the outskirts of what was then a growing town, soon to become a thriving city, in the mid-19th century. This was due to a shortage of burial space as a result of rapid industrialisation and population increase. So many stories are buried here, some famous, some waiting to be unearthed. There are many unmarked and common graves in both cemeteries. Perhaps surprising to us, even this option would have been a source of pride for poorer Victorians, many of whom would have put savings aside in life, specifically so that they could have an honourable death. The cemeteries are also home to well-known Birmingham figures such as Joseph Chamberlain, former MP and Mayor of Birmingham, and Alfred Bird of Bird's Custard, as well as the lesser-known but equally as important lawn tennis pioneer Harry Jem, Victoria Cross winner Private James Cooper, and Warrelon, the young Aboriginal boy taken from his homeland and brought to England in 1844. Key Hill Cemetery was opened in 1836 and was Birmingham's first garden cemetery, as can be seen in its tranquil natural features. It was open to all creeds and denominations. In contrast, Warstone Lane, Birmingham's second garden cemetery, was founded in 1848 by the Church of England Company. Both have impressive catacombs. Having these places of rest in the heart of the city reminds us that death is a part of life. The cemeteries have also had new life in our modern world, hosting a range of events including outdoor theatre, film screenings, yoga classes, arts and craft workshops, guided tours, community litter picks, and nature walks. Both Warstone Lane and Key Hill cemeteries have stood the test of time as integral places of heritage and leisure. As written in a Birmingham newspaper in 1848, we can conceive that many persons will often repair for quiet contemplation to this peaceful mansion of the dead.
St. Paul's Square is the only remaining Georgian square in Birmingham. It was developed in the 1770s and 1780s on land belonging to the Colmore family. It's a beautiful square which can fill your soul with peace. St. Paul's Church The Pearl of the Jewellery Quarter was designed by Roger Eakin and built between 1772 and 1779. Originally, there was no spire. It was added in 1823. The painted or enamelled east window was installed in 1791, made by Francis Edgington from a painting about St. Paul by Benjamin West. The organ was moved here in 1927 from the West Gallery. Near the organ is a possibility to sit in a pew which used to be reserved by English manufacturer Matthew Bolton. His collaborator, Scottish mechanical engineer James Watt, used to sit in a 10th pew. In the southeast are architect William Hollin's family memorials. The Millennium window was designed and made by Rachel Thomas. In the center of the window is amazingly detailed Jewellery Quarter map. This Victorian stained glass window is the memorial for Reverend Burgess.